Welcome back to Caleb's Criterion Corner. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about Superman, James Gunn's new movie, 2025, just came out July 11th. Let's see if it's better than the older ones and if this is a new step for the DCU. Now, despite the Snyderbots trying to kill this movie in the rollout, everything is looking uphill for this one. Genuinely. This is undeniably a great comic book movie. And to top it off, this is one of the best Superman movies that I've seen in my lifetime. And at first, I thought the tone of this movie would have a little hiccup just because of James Gunn's, charismatic comedy in all of his movies. I didn't know if they were going to be able to strike a chord and a balance with that. So, a lot of people don't take Superman as just being a complete joke. And I think they absolutely nailed it because if you do read comics, Superman is a goofy, comedic, and nerdy character. And it coming to life on the big screen looked amazing, honestly. Everything felt very warm with this rendition of the movie. And like I said, I think this movie encapsulates just the overall feeling of who Superman is and his charismatic approach to life. It was ripped straight out of a comic book to me, as far as the portrayal that they got on the screen from David. He actually killed this role. And during my screening, every laugh and every, comedic breakup that happened in the movie, everyone was laughing. It felt like the jokes landed at the perfect time, and it wasn't overbearing like a Marvel project. And starting this off 3 years into Clark being Superman felt just like the perfect glimpse and snapshot of a story that we all know. Because at this point, I feel like there is no need for a backstory for characters of this magnitude. It's literally Bible scriptures at this point, and the most average person who knows nothing about these superheroes, you can pull them off the street and ask them about the backstory of Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman, and they could probably give you a straightforward answer. So that was absolutely great. Thank you, James Gunn. And admittedly, I did think that the first half of the film was a little messy and jumbled up with just different ideologies or different story pieces going into each other. But by the middle half of the movie and the third final act, it definitely comes together in a full circle moment, and it's just great to see. There's so many Easter eggs and so much fun and vibrant things going on in this screen that I felt like it was the perfect revival compared to Zack Snyder's universe, which was more of a darker auteur type of viewpoint on the movie, or stance, I should say, on these characters. And I don't think that that was just going to be palatable for average moviegoers, comic book lovers, and people that are just now getting into it. Because, mind you, we are all old adults, and these movies are kind of geared towards kids. So let's just be fucking serious. And letting Lex pull his strings from, the background in this movie and showing how tumultuous he is and slowly, you know, very convoluted in his thinking and his ego and his domino effect of how he's trying to ruin Superman's life was great. I feel like we haven't seen Lex Luthor portrayed in that type of way as his like mastermind self in a long time. And I know a lot of people don't like this portrayal because they say that he wasn't menacing or not, but we cannot act like Batman versus Superman did not have the worst Lex Luthor that we've pretty much ever seen. Like, a lot of this stuff had to be revisited and rehashed in the right way, and I'm so happy that this was the route that they took. And I think David's portrayal of Superman was just absolutely great. He brought all of the humanistic vibes and, humane ideas and just his overall tone of person and his actions, down to saving a squirrel in the film or the dog, even Crypto. He just has like a very loving spirit on the screen in his portrayal. And for me, I'm not saying everybody has to feel the same way, but for me, right now, he is the best Superman portrayal that I've seen on TV. And I grew up watching Smallville. I cannot say that I'm an avid Superman comic book reader, but I do know a lot about the character. And this was just great. It wasn't not uptight. It wasn't like he was trying to aura farm every time that he was saving someone, or, like, it just felt natural. He could be witty and get his jokes off and it not feel like it was too corny, even though the character is corny. And compared to 68 lines of dialogue from Henry Cavill, this was a much needed upgrade. We needed someone with range, and David Cornsweet, he absolutely killed it. I think the cast just did an amazing job, truthfully. And the inclusion of a lot of the supporting characters that are going to be in this world, moving forward into the Green Lantern show and Peacemaker, it felt extremely nice to see, because I know that these characters will have viable parts and things that they will have to say and contribute to the story as we go. Unlike their counterpart Marvel, who just throws somebody in and then you never see them again. We already know that a lot of these characters will possibly be getting spin-offs, or they will be in other shows. So the world building is there, and it's only going to get bigger, and it's just amazing. I mean, I have so many positive things to say about this movie. I just have to go see it again, to be honest. And Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner, every time that they get on the screen, they absolutely steal the show. This was just very, very happy, as a person of color, as a black guy, seeing Mr. Terrific get that representation. And I could only imagine how kids feel that went to this movie that have no idea who that character is, but walking out of the theater and that now being their fixation as a hero, and a great thing to look up to, because representation definitely matters. And I feel everybody was represented very, very equally in this film, and it just felt great. Like, if you hate the movie, I feel like you might be sad in your life, or you got some other shit going on, because just the subject matter, if you're looking at it through a third eye and you feel like they're attacking real life situations and it feels like it's hurting you, then that means that a hit dog is hollering at the moment, is like what I would say. So for anyone that's saying that this is a woke Superman, or all of the characters that are men are weak, that's totally not the case. They obviously have never read a comic or watched the TV shows, and they were too busy fucking gargling Henry Cavill's balls and Zack Snyder. That's the only fucking conclusion that I have for that, because the Twitter discourse about this movie is disgusting. I mean, obviously, me personally, I think that this movie is going to eclipse Man of Steel in the box office. It might not be the first weekend, but I definitely think this one has the word of mouth, and it will travel way further just because of the source material, the storytelling, and the writing. I mean, the characters are fucking wrote extremely well. And did I mention the last movie had 68 lines? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? And I think the main thing for me with this Superman 2025 was it didn't have to, take itself too seriously, or try and make itself just look like a slow cinematic shot every 5 minutes, on top of having good actors. Because Justice League and Batman vs. Superman, for me, struggled with having the absolute worst actors in these roles, with these complex characters where you have to get off a million emotions in one scene just by moving your face. And then you go pull Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman. Like, there's a multitude of great actors. I respect Zack Snyder, but I think his look was more of making it look visually pleasing instead of having a true story to tell, and the heart is missing completely. But it's totally opposite with this one, and I can almost guarantee that. And I think this story has the perfect amount of cataclysmic events going on, and deeper issues within what's going on with Lex and how he's pulling his strings from the perspective of using a made-up country, and the fact that we are fighting over borders, and respect. Like, that was a really, really big thing. This is a big movie that's pushing humanity, how we should all respect and love each other. And if you don't like it, then, like I said, it's literally some type of internal issue at this point. And for me, after seeing that, and then us having shows like The Penguin and Suicide Squad 2 doing so well, Peacemaker, the new season of Peacemaker coming out, I genuinely believe that the DCU will have the comic book universe as far as live action TV shows, and we cannot forget that they already had animated series on the lock. The next 5 years will be in DC's hands. And if James Gunn can continue to formulate these movies and get the greatest scripts possible, on top of possibly adding Robert Pattinson's Batman into the DCU, which I know they say that they don't want to do, but there will come a point where the fans will literally kind of demand it. And I think if you are someone, as far as like the studio heads of DC, you kind of got to give the fans what they want. And that would just be fucking amazing to see Robert Pattinson and David on the same screen and them interact, because we got such true adaptations of those characters that those are my Batman and Supermans, stamped actors moving forward. And I know both studios don't want to say it, but this summer, this July, is actually a fucking battle of the box office and a reset for both franchises. I am a big Fantastic Four fan, but I do think that DC has the next 5 years. Now, I can't say that this Superman movie is better than Fantastic Four or vice versa, because as a comic book fan and somebody who just likes superhero movies to a degree, like, I haven't really, expanded on them that hard when I do reviews, but I do watch them. I think it's actually very promising moving forward for both. And this is just great for somebody who likes this stuff. So the hate, it kind of has to stop. It's actually blown out of proportion, and it makes me realize why I never talk about these things in these circles with people, because they already have their minds made up, and I'm not going to be doing that work to change their mind. So if you haven't seen Superman yet, I advise you to go to your movie theater, go see it, and now you can see what I'm talking about, because for me, I think Superman just delivered an uppercut to the fucking MCU. Now it's time to see if the MCU can respond in about a week, and I'll be back to talk about that one as well. I do have a lot more things to talk about with this movie, so I will either be going live or I'll make another video just talking about the spoilers and all of the things that could lead up and just like storylines that I have in my head. But I genuinely appreciate you if you are still watching this video at this moment. So just leave a like and a subscribe button. I'm Caleb. This is Caleb's Criterion Corner, and I'll be back very, very shortly. Have a good one.